Hello, it's Michelle Cornish here, author and former CPA, coming at you today with a 2-minute biz tip all about sales taxes for Canadian authors. So I have been hearing a lot about sales taxes in the US lately. There have been a number of changes there and people are starting to worry about what's going on with the sales taxes. Well, I have some good news if you're in Canada. So books are exempt from provincial sales taxes. So that is one thing you don't have to worry about. They are subject to federal taxes though, so if you are selling books within Canada, you may need to charge the goods and services tax, which is the GST, or the harmonized sales tax, HST, if you are in Ontario or any of the maritime provinces. Now, how it works with the federal sales tax is you are allowed an exemption of $30,000 per year. What this means is if your revenue, gross revenue, is less than $30,000 in the year, you do not need to charge GST unless you are already registered. So I often recommend to people, don't register unless you meet that threshold. There may be some extenuating circumstances why you might want to register, but unless you are meeting the threshold, you don't need to, and you don't need to collect that sales tax. So once you do hit the $30,000 threshold, though, you are required to register to collect federal sales taxes. Now, you need to register by the first of the month following the month that you hit that $30,000 threshold. So just keep an eye on your gross revenue, and when you're getting close to that $30,000, start preparing to register to collect federal sales taxes, which is going to be GST in most provinces or HST in Ontario, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or Prince Edward Island. Now, the other thing to keep in mind when it comes to federal sales tax on your books, it really depends on where the book is being delivered. So this also is strictly for books that you are selling directly to the customer. So if you're selling through Amazon, Amazon collects the sales taxes, they do their thing, you are getting a commission from Amazon, so you don't need to worry about the tax on the books for those kinds of sales. So this is Amazon and other platforms that you might be selling on. But if you sell books on your website or at book signings and any other way where you're selling directly to the customer, you're going to want to think about the federal sales taxes if you're over that $30,000 mark. Now, the federal sales taxes are also based on what's called the place of supply rules. So if you are selling to anyone other than somebody who is in Canada, you do not need to charge them GST because that federal sales tax does not apply where they are living. So this is where the whole place of supply comes in. But if you're selling your book to someone else in Canada, so if you're selling your book at a book signing somewhere in Canada, you can assume that person is from Canada. Place of supply, you're delivering the book to them at that book signing, which is in Canada. So you do need to charge tax at that time if you're over that $30,000 threshold. So there's a lot of ifs to consider in this whole situation as to whether or not you need to charge the federal sales tax on your book sales. If you're selling the book from your website and shipping it to customers that maybe are in the UK or the US, you do not need to worry about charging the federal sales tax to those customers. But if it's somebody in Canada, then you do need to charge the federal sales tax. All right, I hope this helps. Sales taxes can be quite confusing. There's a lot of things to consider. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'm happy to answer them. And as always, contact your professional accountant for further advice. All right, thanks for watching.